This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Well, Bleu Davinci has been trying a lot of things since he's come home. Who knows what was successful and what wasn't? Okay, I mean, he was even on Love and Hip Hop for a few seasons, or a season where he was confronting his ex. But anyways, he's doing a lot of interviews right now because he's trying to clear his name. He feels like it's been put out there that he's a snitch by Sosa. J-Bo, Terry even alluded to it. A lot. Even Big Meech said he was, right? Now, even if he did say anything, it wouldn't have been that much. He wasn't really a dealer like that. He was more the artist, right? That's what he says, and that's what a lot of the other guys say. They say he was an artist. Maybe he received something here and there. If you had anything to do with anything with the drug side, even if you touched it once, saw it once, you were probably going to jail. Okay, even the girl Tanisha Welsh went to jail, and she had been out of the game, but was around Terry, married to him. It was just like she went to jail for a few years, and then a lot of her son went to jail, or some cousins went to jail. A lot of people got involved, and they went to jail for a long time. Anyways, it seems like the focus of these interviews are Jeezy. Now, because, let's think about it. The real fall of BMF was Tanisha Welsh's ex-husband. He was a dealer, too, got arrested, was jealous that she got with Terry. A couple years into his bid, he told the FBI and tipped him off about BMF, and they got deeper into an investigation. I think it was called something else before BMF, but you know what it is. And he was saying certain things which led to eventually Doc got arrested. The whole shooting thing with Big Meech and Wolf, O-Dog got picked up. It's all this other stuff. But Bull is done a couple interviews, and he was very adamant to say, him and Blue they were best friends, and he got into the situation through Blue, right? And he was actually moving weight, and Blue was about becoming an artist. So they had a separation there because Bull was making a lot of money, and he was like, I'm going to get this work done. And, I'm not done with that music stuff. So he said there was a separation between us. Not a beef, but just a separation. Nobody believed in music at BMF. They didn't believe that Bleu Davinci was the one. And I understand why. Okay? No offense, but it's just true. So he needed people to tag along with him in the music journey. So he started recruiting people. He recruited Jeezy, but everyone in BMF that's met Jeezy said he was doing a CTE thing before BMF. Bleu Davinci attached himself to Jeezy because Jeezy was really trying to get his foot in the music game, and they could build together. In Bleu Davinci's head, without telling anybody else, he had this dream of signing Jeezy and to BMF, and then they get a record label deal. And now they're an imprint at Def Jam and all this other stuff. But you need a lot of sales records to get that kind of deal. Cash Money and Master P and them got that deal because they were moving a lot and had a huge buzz in their areas. BMF had a buzz, but they didn't have a lot of sales to go with it. They weren't hungry to make money off of mixtapes and stuff because they were making money with drugs. They gave Bleu Davinci a house, cars, everything. He had everything he needed for an artist. So it was like, where's the hunger? Where's the hunger? Getting on a couple Smack DVDs was enough for him in a sense. He felt famous off of that. So Jeezy and him clicked up. And Big Meech didn't even know the plan of signing Jeezy. He thought that he was just appreciating the music. I'm going to be honest with you. I believe Bleu Davinci and other guys thought just the record label thing would have been a good distraction and a money laundering thing. Just like anything else. The cars, everything, it was all money laundering, You got to clean the money. And Doc was supposedly in charge of that too. Cleaning money, getting people houses, stuff like that. Anyways, I believe that Bleu Davinci's real beef here is that he's he was like, why didn't they come sign me? I had the look, I had the presence, I brought Jeezy to another level, because that is true. Jeezy being around BMF brought a different feeling to Jeezy's music. All the cars, he could switch cars with them, everything. I'm not saying he didn't have his own cars, but I'm just saying switching cars with them, doing this, being around a bunch of guys with money looked like a movement, and it made people like, they're going to gravitate towards the artist that has the better bars and better raps. And that was Jeezy. Him saying he dressed Jeezy and everything is a little weird. I dressed him. I made him look like this. You know, it's like, dude, I don't know about all that. I think Jeezy was probably just influenced being around a bunch of guys from BMF from different areas, and he, you know, picked up a lot of different styles, you know? Like, he was exposed to a lot more. You didn't make Jeezy write these raps and do the ad-libs and everything else. So, you know, they deserve some credit. And, you know, Bleu Davinci gets credit for that. You know, he pushed Jeezy to another level. But you can't say that, like, you did this and that, because, like, you didn't do it for yourself, you know? You didn't do, nothing happened when he came. You were attached to a drug ring, bro. It wasn't going to go anywhere. A lot of people, anyone could see the writing on the wall, except for most of the people in BMF 2003 with the billboards and everything, and you saw him on Smack. It was like, oh, this is like too flashy. We've seen this story a couple times before, you know. I've seen it many times before where it doesn't go anywhere. It just looks flashy. The people haven't sold one record and they're driving, you know, Rolls Royces and stuff. You know, it's like, okay, this is not from music. And a lot of labels start like that in Atlanta. They just don't, they're not too flashy, you know? There's a point of being too flashy. But, you know, there's been a lot of labels that started off of street money in Atlanta. Most of them, to be honest with you. But there's a way about doing it. The BMF was just like too rich. So his beef is really that Jeezy got a deal and he didn't. And the way it went down. I think Jeezy knew that Bleu Davinci kind of felt like he was his artist and everything. So when Bleu Davinci got sent home after the Wolf thing, and, you know, Big Meech sent everybody home, but Jeezy kept in contact with Big Meech because he was the only one in Atlanta to bring him what he needed when he was on house arrest, and I guess Blue facilitated that. You know, it's like, I guess Jeezy, I don't see it happening like within 40. He says I had 40 days of studio sessions, and he was using my studio sessions. That's how he got his deal. I don't know if it happened that fast. I'm sure Jeezy had already caught the attention of Jay-Z and Puff Daddy because, like, Block's from Atlanta, you know? And that's where the whole Puffy deal kind of came into play. And they were able to structure a deal where he was going to do a one-off with Block and them for the Boys in the Hood, and then do an album with Jay-Z. He had been signed to Jay-Z, since 2003. That's when the whole thing happened. I mean, I don't think it was done so sneakily. I just think Blue wasn't in tune with everything. And that obviously Blue didn't share his vision with Big Meech, because when he's complaining that, oh, Meech didn't know the business at all, when Jeezy told him he signed the deals, he should have questioned, like, yo, I thought you were going to sign to us. Big Meech was probably like, yo, I'm not gonna like sign this guy to us because we're being watched by the feds. Like, I'm not gonna implicate him. If Jeezy had signed to BMF, like how Bleu Davinci's envisioning this, there would be no Jeezy right now. Jeezy would have been locked up with them. Does he not get that? It was a blessing in disguise. You could even say that Big Meech knew about it, but decided to let him do his own thing because it's like, yo, bro, we move drugs, bro. Like, I'm not in this. But I don't. I think Bleu Davinci thought they were taking music a lot more serious than they really were, and I think that made him angry. I mean, I'm gonna just be honest. Like, that's how it comes off in his things. Then now he's trying to. I get what he's saying about the Tammy Cowens thing, and that he's working with someone that was an informant. That is a little spooky. The woman that has his life rights supposedly was like smashing a DEA agent, was undercover, getting paid by the feds like $500K over 5 years. But Meech kind of had to do business with her because she had his life rights. And she's part of the whole BMF story on Stars. She's like a producer or something. I don't know, man. But that stuff gets spooky. That is a weird situation that I think only Big Meech could explain himself, because how does that happen? How did that whole thing happen like that? It is weird. But even Southwest T knew about her because Tanisha Welsh was told by Southwest T when she came home in 2012 from her bid, she wanted to do BMF Wives, and he was like, you got to holler at Tammy Cowens, and she went off on her, and that's where she found out that she was undercover because she was called into her probation officer, and the probation officer was like, hey, you just threatened a federal agent, when and not knowing Tammy Cowens was, I guess, an undercover agent or something. And they were like, yeah, this woman, when you talked to her on the phone like that, you threatened her. And but there was no proof. There was no like wiretap on it. It was just hearsay, so they could never charge her. But that was confirmation. And I was like, jeez, man, this BMF stuff is like, they didn't stop. Once he was in jail and everything, they kept going. Man, I guess she had to wear wires in the visit or something. I don't know. This is all like information by people that were involved in BMF. But that is spooky. This is Jordan Tower with JT News. I'll check you guys in the next one. Peace. And let me know what you guys think.